Well, hello everyone. Happy Thursday. It is digital host A.J. Wuest here, welcoming you back to Before the Four, where I take you through some of 48's top news stories and then some before our 4 o'clock newscast. Wherever you're watching right now, whether that is on Facebook, YouTube, or the 48 Now live stream, thanks for watching and spending just a little of your Thursday afternoon here with me. Now, what is something that always makes you smile? That is what I want to know. And that is our 48 Facebook question of the day. And make sure to stay tuned to the end of today's Before the Four as I shout out some of my favorite comments from you all. But until then, let's jump into some of today's top stories. And today, we are starting things off with sports. We have 48 sports reporter Cam Durr in the house today, talking a little about week 4 of some high school football. Cam, first, how are you doing today?
So far so good, AJ. Can't complain, and you know what makes me smile? It's football season, baby.
That's right, 100%. I can't believe it's already week 4. It feels like just yesterday we were gearing up for week 0 of some high school football, and there's no other sport I like better than football personally. So super excited that football is finally here on all different levels, NFL, college, and high school, of course. But Cam, talk a little about this game of the week and all the awesome things going on in the world of high school pigskin.
Yeah, so AJ, our game of the week this week, our 48 Blitz game of the week, ARAB will be at Guntersville. It's going to be a region battle, but more than that, it's a kind of cross-county rivalry battle, so it means a little bit more to these communities and to these two teams. So they're going to, lay a little bit more out there, bring a little bit more, light a little more fire under them, if you will, when they come to the field on Friday night. So it's going to be a really great game. But more than that, they're both undefeated as they as they come into this game, and obviously only one of these teams is going to walk out of here still undefeated and will be the front runner in the region. Of course, Guntersville, they have a long history of being a really great team in the area, but ARAB as well. They are certainly no slouch teams either. ARAB's actually taken the last 2 games from Guntersville, but Guntersville before that, 9 in a row. So who it will be is really the question, which is, of course, why we couldn't resist it as our 48 Blitz game of the week.
Absolutely. That sounds so exciting, especially with both teams being as good as they are. Like you said, both teams undefeated, so who will get that first loss of the season? Time will tell on that. But Cam, you've been covering quite a few games here in the Tennessee Valley, obviously. What is your favorite part, I want to ask, about just high school football season and high school football coverage, especially here in North Alabama?
Personally, my favorite is just the sheer talent that these kids bring to the field. You can really, they play with a lot of passion, but they really play with a whole lot of talent and a lot of grit. These kids, they play far beyond their years, especially from what I was used to seeing before. I mean, these are some studs out there. Star players hit the field any level. It doesn't matter 1A through 7A. These kids, they bring it each and every week, and it's really fun to watch. Of course, good football, good talented football, and it's always fun when they're having fun, right?
Absolutely. And talk about your preview show that airs at 7, I believe it's 7:20 tonight, Thursday nights. Talk a little bit about that and what we should expect to see.
Well, of course, each and every week at 7:20 here on 48 Now, you're going to see, and across all of our digital platforms, I bring you the high school football 48 Blitz preview show. It's going to talk all things high school football leading up to Friday night, week 4 edition. So we talk about everything that these teams are, what they've accomplished up to this point in the season. Of course, we're going to touch more on our game of the week, get into more of the X's and O's, the nitty gritty. We'll hear from Coach Reese from Guntersville as well. And then, of course, you make a little cameo this week as well, telling us a little bit more of the game. So yeah, 7:20, that airs tonight right here on 48 Now and across all of our digital platforms, and every week. And of course, followed up by Beyond the Lights Athens, which is an incredible docuseries that we've been working on as well.
Well, I'm excited for it. I've been following Beyond the Lights Athens, super invested in it. So every Thursday, it's always a special treat. Well, Cam, thank you so much for joining in with me today. And if you're watching at home right now, make sure at 7:20 you tune in to the Beyond the Lights, well, the 48 Blitz preview show, and then finally Beyond the Lights Athens. But Cam, thanks again.
Thank you, AJ.
Yep, absolutely. Yes. Gotta love the high school football talk here in the Tennessee Valley, of course. So now let's head into a little news and starting things off today in Tuscumbia, where there has been an update on the car thefts that are going on out there. Nearly a month ago, 3 vehicles were stolen from one car dealership, and now 3 more have been taken. Now, according to our news partners at the Times Daily, the Long Lewis Chevrolet dealership in Tuscumbia has reported a 2023 Chevrolet Corvette, a 21 Chevy Silverado, and a 2020 KTM 690 motorcycle were reported stolen from the showroom. Tuscumbia police are currently investigating the burglary. Officials say the burglary happened between the night of September 13th and the morning of September 14th. The total value of the vehicle stolen is around $141,000. Authorities say 2 males seen dressed in black with face masks on came inside a door and found keys to the vehicles. And tonight, 48's Aria Pons will be reporting on this story tonight with further updates, so make sure you stick around for the evening newscast and hear from Aria. And now in Decatur, where 2 people have died in an apparent murder-suicide. Now this happened back in September 6th to be exact, earlier this month. Decatur police say the incident happened around noon after a well-being check on 5th Avenue. They say they found a man and a woman dead inside a residence from apparent gunshot wounds. The couple was later identified as 60-year-old Stephanie Tribble and 44-year-old Jonathan Dawes. Now, officials say both bodies were transported to the Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences for an autopsy. Police say after a preliminary investigation, they believe Dawes shot his wife and then shot himself. There were no other injuries located on either subject. Now, Decatur police say the investigation remains ongoing at this time. But now, let's talk about the weather. 48 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Brad Travis has your latest forecast from across the Tennessee Valley. How's it looking out there today, Brad?
Yeah, AJ, it's getting hotter just about every day. It's staying dry, and we're still holding on to comfortable mornings, but the comfortable evenings are kind of starting to go the other way, and that's because the humidity is starting to get a little bit higher out there. As we take a look at your forecast, we'll just continue to watch the chance for showers late next week. So we've got a dry weekend ahead. Temperatures just before 4 o'clock, very close to 90. I do think we'll hit the low 90s at some point, maybe even as early as Friday, and some of you may have hit that this afternoon. Parkway looks pretty good. Traffic's in pretty good shape, but the rush hour has yet to really begin. As we take a look at the next 12 hours, plan your evening. You got ball practice, things like that, hanging out with the family maybe. We've got good weather out there, 75 at 10 o'clock, overnight lows in the 60s. And we are also keeping an eye on the tropics. More on that in just a second. Over the next 3 days, you can see it gets hotter during the afternoon and just a little warmer during the overnight hours. But you don't have to worry about any rain this weekend. Trail of Tears coming up Saturday. They begin in Bridgeport and they go all the way over to Waterloo along Highway 72. So just be on the lookout for more motorcycles on the road. It's part of that big Trail of Tears event that goes all the way into Oklahoma. It begins in Tennessee, I believe. Here's your tropics. What we're tracking is the development down there just to the east of Cancun. This is going to be next week. Wouldn't cancel any plans, but keep an eye on that. Model guidance showing a hurricane, but we just don't know where it's going to be and where it's going to end up. And that's pretty critical as far as your plans go, isn't it? We'll talk more about that over the coming days. Back to you, AJ.
Well, thank you, Brad. Now in Huntsville, fall season is quickly approaching, which also means the dreaded flu season is about to be underway. But some local independent pharmacies say they are behind on getting the latest round of COVID vaccines. 48's Matthew King earlier today spoke with Star Pharmacy Director Trent McLemore, who says the price of the medicine plays a huge role in the shortage.
It's gone from a legitimate shortage to, well, now some of these pharmacies really can't afford to even purchase the medications, whether it's vaccinations, the hot topic drugs, the weight loss drugs. A lot of times those are available to order, but some pharmacies just cannot even afford to buy them because they're so expensive.
Well, thank you, Matthew. Now a story from 48 Sarah Grace Kennedy. She recently reported on this morning. Education leaders in Alabama say they are working to increase math scores for elementary age students here in the state of Alabama. Now, State Superintendent Dr. Eric Mackley says lower test results were seen from 2nd to 8th grade students on the math section of the ACAP. He says this could be due to more teachers focusing on reading as part of the new Alabama Literacy Act. Now, Mackey says the state has set aside millions of dollars in funding to help bring in math coaches to schools that need the most help to better prepare for the state test.
We used to have teachers who would say, hey, work of the 26 problems on the page, work 1 through 20, and you do the odds or the even ones, and just skip the word problems. Well, we would have been better off to skip 1 through 20 and do the 5 word problems, because the word problems really are the only thing that the national and international assessments test.
Well, very true. And now another story in case you missed it. An update on the South Star Music Festival going on at John Hunt Park later this month. Yesterday, Huntsville city leaders provided key details on the upcoming music festival. City Administrator John Hamilton said setting up for the event could begin as early as this week. Hamilton added that security will be on site to ensure festival goers have a great time and do so safely. He said C3, the organizers of the festival, will have their own private security monitoring activities, and HPD officers will support them.
Though having those plans in place is extremely important to them and to us, and so it will be very robust.
Certainly when you have an event like this, you certainly have a lot of people who commingle with each other. We want to make sure everybody acts responsibly inside the site. We'll also have adequate medical personnel in there as well. I can't go into details as far as what we specifically will do, but we'll be prepared.
Though having those plans in place.
Very nice. Now in the race for the White House. Vice President Harris will be in Battleground, Michigan tonight, holding an event with Oprah Winfrey. It comes just days after Donald Trump held a town hall in the state. The former president rallying on New York's Long Island last night. NBC's chief White House correspondent, Peter Alexander, has the latest.
Overnight, former President Trump joking about the apparent assassination attempt at his golf course.
Golf is a very dangerous game.
Really? On Fox News, Trump also touting a non-endorsement. The Teamsters declining to back either Trump or Vice President Harris yesterday. The first time since 1996, the union, one of the nation's largest, has opted against throwing its support behind the Democratic nominee.
That was sort of a big event. Nobody's ever expected a thing like that to happen.
The Harris campaign saying Teamsters locals across the country have already endorsed her, alongside the overwhelming majority of organized labor. Harris also pushing back against a major Trump campaign theme, his restrictive immigration policies, speaking to Latino lawmakers.
They have pledged to carry out the largest deportation, a mass deportation in American history. How's that going to happen? Massive raids? Massive detention camps? What are they talking about?
It comes as Trump is pledging to visit Springfield, Ohio, which has been a flashpoint in the immigration debate.
I'm going to go there in the next 2 weeks. You may never see me again, but that's okay.
After Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance spread baseless claims about Haitian immigrants there eating pets. Now officials in Ohio say there have been multiple threats in Springfield, including at schools. The mayor earlier this week saying a Trump visit would be a strain on resources. The Republican governor visiting Springfield to show support after those bomb threats.
Resources are really stretched here, but if President Trump makes that decision to come here, he will be welcome here.
Democrats have condemned Trump's rhetoric about immigrants, including President Biden yesterday.
We don't demonize immigrants. We don't single them out for attacks. We're a nation of immigrants, and that's why we're so damn strong.
Well, thank you, Peter. And now we have new reporting on the growing threat of conspiracy theories and the quest to debunk them. NBC's Hallie Jackson puts a new high-tech solution to the test. Take a look.
Conspiracy theories about everything from the assassination of John F. Kennedy to what really happened on January 6th. Persistent in politics and beyond. But now, new tech may point toward a potential breakthrough. Meet DebunkBot, powered by OpenAI and created by researchers at MIT, Cornell, and American, who say it can help reduce people's beliefs in conspiracies significantly.
So let's go in that direction.
We tried it out with one of the brains behind the bot, Thomas Costello, with a conspiracy that decades of debunking hasn't eradicated.
It's one small step for man.
I believe the moon landing is not real.
Right.
I don't believe that. I don't actually believe that.
The bot asks us to elaborate on the belief.
And why is the flag waving?
Yeah.
And to rate how strongly we feel about it.
I'm going to say 99% true.
Then, in a series of screens, the chatbot presents facts, lots of them.
How can you be sure that what it's telling me here is accurate?
So absolutely. We found that it tends to be quite accurate. We hired a professional fact checker to go through some of the conversations in our study, a subset, and in 99.2% of cases that we looked at, the fact checker rated the AI's claims as true.
At the end, we reassess how strongly we feel about the belief now. And it's here where researchers found something that surprised them.
On average, people reduced their belief by about 20%.
And consistent across a wide range of conspiracies on topics from Princess Diana to vaccinations, they found 1 in 4 participants disavowed the belief altogether.
I think if you gave the facts to a semi-competent lawyer, the lawyer would make a much more persuasive case than the AI does. It's just that the lawyer would have to do all this background or research, and the AI can conjure it up in 12 seconds.
But in reality, getting folks to engage at all could be tough.
What makes you think that somebody who believes in a conspiracy theory is going to go on here and type it in so that their minds can be changed?
Yeah, well, so I would say that a lot of conspiracy theorists end up being motivated by truth and accuracy. Going to a chatbot interface that provides factual information, it seems like a good way to do that to me.
Like most technology, it can cut both ways.
You could imagine a version of this that spreads conspiracy theories.
The DebunkBot team now working on refining the tech, hoping it helps shine a light down conspiratorial rabbit holes.
We can use facts to open up the top of the rabbit hole to begin to crawl out.
A belief worth further research. Hallie Jackson, NBC News, Washington.
Thank you, Hallie. Now another cool story I saw earlier today. One woman has the distinct honor of being the oldest Home Depot employee in the entire country, and she lives in Louisville, Kentucky. Shannon Cogan introduces us to Jockla Wilson, who turns 100 years young next month. Take a listen.
Did you find everything?
2 mornings a week.
It'll be on your receipt there.
You'll find Joklita Wilson at the Westport Road Home Depot from 6 to 10 a.m.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day. That's when I'm 100%.
Joklita was born in 1924.
Customers coming, is Joe here?
Yes, 1924.
Now, let's get this here.
She turns 100 years old this October 4th. She started working here 2 years ago.
That is because I want to communicate with people. If you're not working, you lose your art of conversing. And the reader, it reads it under the numbers. I've retired 3 times. Each time it was 10 years, and I got so sick of myself I couldn't stand it.
She spent much of her life dancing. She traveled the world with the June Taylor Dancers.
Wow, look at you!
And boy, does she still have the moves.
Now, would you wear tap shoes?
Oh, sure.
Yes? Yeah. And so it would make the sound?
With heels.
Yeah,
but there was a lot of this with it.
She even danced and sang on stage at the age of 94. The mother of 4 owned the Louisville Dance Academy for nearly 40 years. She still drives And her artwork received an honorable mention at this year's Kentucky State Fair.
Tell me all of your secrets.
Oh, I have a lot of them. For one thing, don't sweat the small stuff. I drink that much wine with that much water. I put a lot of emphasis on posture.
How do you do that?
Well, test myself against a wall, you know. And if I'm slouching, I correct it.
Her own mother, on the left, lived to 99. Joclita bought her piano at 90. She's now teaching herself. Her life has not been easy at times.
I've had cancer 3 times, COPD, emphysema, and I have a pacemaker. But you can't sweat the small stuff. So I just don't think,
One thing she won't do, clean her house. She pays someone to do that.
I didn't get this old without getting smart.
I love that.
She says she'd consider dating, but he has to be younger than her.
Especially has to be able to dance and a good leader. Because I could follow.
And her outlook, creating a fulfilling, long life, is something we can all follow.
Awesome story there. Well, now it is time for the good side. And principals, school principals, they stay busy. They're in meetings, sitting in on classrooms, talking with parents. But one Alabama elementary school principal wants to make sure his students have a fun and memorable experience. Local News Live, Jamel Johnson has his inspiring story. Take a listen.
Art is his passion.
I was an art teacher for 21 years.
And touching the lives of students is his purpose.
It's hot outside. Y'all want to be outside more?
Over the years, Principal Chris Payne has found a way to combine the two.
I had been teaching for a long time. Finally got to a point in my career where I would like to do a little bit more.
He didn't know what was in store going from a high school art teacher to an elementary school principal.
That was awful sweet.
But he was up for the challenge of this new role.
It's high fives every day, smiles all the time. I'm getting after it as fast as these kids are running down the hallways.
Those smiles are the result of the impact Chris is making.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
He can be seen painting murals on walls and dressing up in costumes to greet students.
I want them, when they walk around the corner, see something new. This is one of my Jedi costumes. I've got about 50 lightsabers over there in the corner.
Now, Mr. Payne has dressed up as Star Wars, a magician, and the greatest showman. But let's see what he's dressed up as today. Yeah, we were just passing by. I wanted to see what you were dressed up as today.
Ah, welcome to Carver MST. We are chicken riders today, and we're running around the school just trying to make sure everything's safe and that the kids are excited to be here. I want to be the first face that they see when they arrive to school every day, and I want to be the last face that they see when they leave as well.
Showing them there's more to the man behind the costume.
I've raised my kids in Dothan City Schools.
Molding students to be leaders of tomorrow.
Sacrificed a lot of time to try to make them citizens that could go out in the world and make a difference. And then hopefully my children would follow in that same pathway.
After 27 years and counting, his impact is being felt. Leaders who will never forget the positive impact he's made on their lives. In Dothan, Jamel Johnson, your hometown news leader.
That is awesome. I remember I used to have one of those little chicken things that he is on. That was, I believe, for Halloween when maybe I was like 5 or 6 years old. I had one of those. And I walked around school with that like I was riding a chicken the entire time. But awesome story there down in Dothan. And I say, now let's head into the stories you're just not going to want to miss in our evening newscast. A huge country music star coming to Sand Mountain. Get the details on that story tonight from 48 Savannah Sap. Another story you're just not going to want to miss, Governor Kay Ivey here in the Tennessee Valley. Find out where and why from 48's Daquan Lee. A color run for a good cause tonight. And finally, an awesome story on Habitat for Humanity building a new home in Limestone County. These are just a few of the stories you're just not going to want to miss in our evening newscast. And you know, I think it's about that time. It is time, of course, for Facebook Fun. Welcome everyone to Facebook Fun. If you are watching right now, you have stuck around for the entirety of today's Before the Four, and I think that deserves a pat on the back right there. But thank you for sticking around. Welcome to Facebook Fun. Let's see what our 48 Facebook question of the day was. And that was, of course, what's something that always makes you smile? And I don't know, I'm smiling quite a bit. I think almost everything makes me smile except for things that don't make me smile. But what I want to know, I think what's going to really make me smile is seeing what you all had to say. And let's see, Bill Price, he said Alabama winning football. Bill, thank you so much for commenting. I feel you on that, absolutely. Yes, sir. Bill, thank you for commenting. Mitzi said her grandchildren. Very, very understandable. That was actually a very popular answer today. But Mitzi, thank you for commenting. Misty said her pups, and look how cute they are. Adorable Misty, thank you so much for commenting. Gloria said random dance parties with her, I think is that Waffle House peeps? With her WFH peeps. Gloria, thank you for commenting. And then Rando said tax-free weekend. I mean, that makes everyone smile, I think. But Rando, thank you so much for commenting. But that just about does it for today's Before the Four. I want to thank you for sticking around with me and spending a little of your Thursday afternoon with me. If you haven't done so already, make sure you download all the digital apps, the 48 digital apps, First Alert Weather app, and Sports Zone app. And yes, make sure you stay tuned for Camder's preview show at 7:20 tonight, and then Beyond the Lights Athens follows it. But with that said, thanks for watching. You all have a great night.